When you think about the Catholic Church, you hardly think of Hollywood. However, there's been a good number of Catholic films that have gone below the radar over the years. Well, I've done some digging and uncovered 10 of the most underrated Catholic movies ever made. Stay tuned, cause you're in for a huge surprise. 10. The Flowers of St. Francis from 1950. If you think a movie about monks would be slow or boring, think again. This beautifully simple Italian film brings the life of St. Francis of Assisi and his followers to the screen in a way that feels both peaceful and uplifting. Instead of one long story, it's told through short episodes that highlight their daily lives, filled with kindness, humor, and deep faith. You see St. Francis giving away everything he owns to live in poverty, his friends learning what it truly means to love, and moments of pure joy in serving others. What makes this film stand out is its honesty. It doesn't try to make these monks look like perfect saints, but instead shows their struggles, laughter, and simple way of seeing the world. 9. The Ninth Day, from 2004. World War II was a time of terrible suffering, and this German film dives deep into the struggles of a Catholic priest trapped in the horrors of the Dachau concentration camp. Based on a true story, the movie follows Abbé Henri Kremer, who is given a shocking choice. The Nazis temporarily release him and order him to convince his bishop to cooperate with them. If he refuses, he'll be sent back to the camp, where death is almost certain. What would you do in his place? The film doesn't just show the physical suffering of war, but the inner battles of faith and conscience. Should he try to save himself or stand firm in his beliefs, knowing the consequences? It's intense, emotional, and makes you think about the true cost of standing up for what's right. 8. Into Great Silence, from 2005. Have you ever wondered what it's like to live in complete silence, far away from the noise of the modern world? Into Great Silence takes you inside the hidden world of Carthusian monks, one of the strictest religious orders in the world. These monks live in a remote monastery in the French Alps, dedicating their entire lives to prayer, reflection, and solitude. There's no narration, no interviews, and no dramatic background music, just the pure, raw beauty of their daily routines, which include praying, reading, working, and walking in silence. It's almost hypnotic to watch, like stepping into a different dimension where time slows down. The film doesn't try to explain their lifestyle, instead it simply invites you to experience it. The Keys of the Kingdom, from 1944. Gregory Peck plays Father Francis Chisholm, a young Scottish priest who is sent to China as a missionary. When he arrives, things aren't easy. He struggles with language barriers, extreme poverty, and resistance from both the locals and his own church. But unlike other missionaries who try to force their beliefs, he chooses kindness, patience, and understanding. Over time, his selfless actions earn the trust and love of the people. But just as things start to look better, war and political conflict threaten everything he's built. This film is more than just a story about a priest. It's about resilience, faith, and staying true to your principles even when the odds are stacked against you. Gregory Peck delivers an unforgettable performance, making you feel every challenge, every small victory, and every moment of doubt. Black Robe, from 1991, takes you on a dangerous and emotional journey through 17th century Canada, where a young Jesuit priest, Father Laforgue, sets out on a mission to convert the indigenous Algonquin and Huron people to Christianity. But this isn't a simple story of preaching and acceptance. From the moment he sets foot in the harsh wilderness, Laforgue faces brutal weather, starvation, and the constant threat of attack. He quickly realizes that the people he hopes to convert have their own deeply rooted beliefs, customs, and fears. Many see him as a black robe, a sign of bad luck, or even a demon. Some are curious about his teachings, while others see him as an invader. The film doesn't shy away from showing the misunderstandings, conflicts, and even violence that occurred between European missionaries and indigenous tribes, but at its heart, this is a film about faith, perseverance, and the personal struggles of a man trying to stay true to his calling in a world that doesn't understand him. Romero, from 1989, is not just a movie about one man. It's a story about courage, sacrifice, and the power of standing up for what's right, even when the cost is your own life. Archbishop Oscar Romero wasn't always the outspoken leader he became. At first he was seen as quiet and obedient, someone who wouldn't challenge the powerful government or the wealthy elite. But when he saw the poor being mistreated and priests being murdered for helping them, he could no longer stay silent. He began using his voice to call out corruption and injustice, even as threats against him grew. His sermons, broadcast across El Salvador, gave hope to the oppressed, but made him a target. Romero knew he was risking everything, yet he refused to stop. His story is one of incredible faith and bravery, and the movie captures his journey in a way that will leave you deeply moved. Number 4, Of Gods and Men from 2010. This film is based on the true story of a group of French Trappist monks living in Algeria during the 1990s, a time of rising violence and political instability. The monks have spent years peacefully coexisting with the local Muslim community, providing medical care and support to those in need. However, as extremist groups begin targeting foreigners, they face a terrifying choice: flee to safety or stay and risk their lives for the people they love. What makes this movie so powerful is how it portrays the monks' deep internal struggles. They aren't fearless warriors, they're ordinary men with doubts, fears, and a strong faith that keeps them together. Their decision to stay isn't made lightly, and each monk wrestles with what it truly means to follow Christ in the face of death. The Scarlet and the Black, from 1983. Set in Nazi-occupied Rome during World War II, this thrilling drama follows Monsignor Hugh O'Flaherty, a real-life Vatican priest who secretly helped thousands of Jews and escaped Allied prisoners find refuge. Played by Gregory Peck, O'Flaherty is a master of deception, using disguises, secret networks, and even Vatican property to outsmart the ruthless SS commander Herbert Kappler. Despite the constant threat of capture and execution, O'Flaherty refuses to stop his underground rescue efforts. What makes this film stand out is its intense cat-and-mouse game between O'Flaherty and Kappler, played brilliantly by Christopher Plummer. The tension is high, the story is gripping, and the acts of heroism are unforgettable. The Mission, from 1986. This is one of those movies that stays with you long after the credits roll. Set in the breathtaking jungles of South America during the 18th century, the film follows a group of Jesuit priests trying to protect a native tribe from European colonizers and slave traders. Robert De Niro plays a former mercenary who, after a life of violence, seeks redemption by joining the Jesuits. Jeremy Irons plays a devoted priest who believes love and faith can overcome brutality. Together, they try to defend the indigenous people, even as political forces threaten to destroy everything. The cinematography is stunning, with sweeping landscapes and powerful imagery that make every scene feel alive. The emotional depth of the story, combined with its hauntingly beautiful soundtrack, makes it an unforgettable experience. It's not just a movie about history, it's a movie about faith, sacrifice, and the battle between good and evil. And A Man for All Seasons, from 1966. If you love stories about people standing up for what they believe in, this one is a must-watch. The film tells the true story of Sir Thomas More, a devout Catholic and respected advisor to King Henry VIII. When the king decides to break from the Catholic Church so he can divorce his wife, More refuses to go along with it. He believes that no man, not even a king, has the right to go against God's laws. His refusal to compromise leads to his downfall, but he never wavers in his faith or his principles. The performances are outstanding, with Paul Scofield delivering a powerful portrayal of More's quiet strength and intelligence. This isn't just a historical drama, it's a lesson in integrity and standing firm in the face of immense pressure. Even centuries later, More's story remains an inspiring example of courage and conviction. So have you seen any of these movies? Head to the comments and tell us what you think about them. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more insightful content on the Catholic Church.